California FFA. My name is Sydnie Sousa, and I am Sydney's little brother.
And my name is Deepak Kumar, and I am Sydney's friend.
It's hard to believe that I am standing up here introducing my older sister. I remember all the times we would spend dressing up as plumbers and princesses, beating each other up, or just jamming out to music looking like dorks. The other day, she tried to teach me how to swing dance, and let's just say it didn't go very well.
I can remember the first time I met Sydney. We were in the first grade, and over the years, I've seen her do some incredible things, like winning the Creed contest on a broken foot, power through more chocolate milk than should be humanly possible in one sitting, and confuse me with her ceaseless abstract reflections on life. She seriously never stops those.
My sister has always been a mentor to me, whether it's asking for advice, consulting some decision about college or girls, or just being the role model I look up to. She is caring, warm-hearted, benevolent, and compassionate. You can count on her for just about anything, especially for bringing home the stray cats we find on the dairy.
Sydney's spirit never breaks. When life for her or others around her change unexpectedly, she responds with kindness, thoughtfulness, and above all, bravery. Her gratefulness for others is unmatched, and her ability to express that love to them even more so. In fact, whenever she talks about this year, the people that she can't stop talking about, the people she loves, are all of you.
Without further ado, here to deliver her retiring address entitled Paragraph 4, My Sister,
My friend, and your state vice president, Sydnie Sousa.
He just takes the tractor another round and pulls a plow across the ground and sends up another prayer. He says, Lord, I never complain, I never ask why. Please don't let my dreams run dry. Underneath this Amarillo sky.
It is the sight of a man with weathered hands, taking off his hat to wipe the sweat from his brow, placing his hands on his hips, sigh and smile, knowing that he has done for others today. Only then to grab his little girl's hand who was standing next to him and tell her to hop in the truck because they have to check the next field before dinner time. This is American agriculture. I believe in the future of agriculture because I believe in what the word agriculture itself states. Culture. This is a way of life. The agriculture industry is one of the few in which, regardless of the job you take, you are continuously serving others. Now, when many think of agriculture, they think of a farm, livestock, or the food on their plate. We so often forget the faces, the people who make these products possible. And the reason we thrive and the most valued resource we have in agriculture is because of the people and the culture in which they create. So let's look at a specific element of agriculture, our organization. What outlines our culture? The words within the FFA Creed. Those words are the essence of the culture in which we work to create. I believe in the future of agriculture, and to stand solid for my part in that inspiring task are words that are ingrained into our minds. But what about the other 3 paragraphs? Specifically, paragraph 4, the paragraph that is the hardest to understand and the easiest to overlook. The paragraph that is all about people. It states, I believe in less dependence on begging and more power in bargaining, in the life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so, for others as well as myself, in less need for charity and more of it when needed, in being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. Now, if we look to these words, we can find the true meaning of the culture in agriculture. I believe in less dependence on begging and more power and bargaining, and the life abundant and enough honest wealth to help make it so. Begging is all about receiving, but bargaining is about knowing the power that comes with knowing what you have to offer. In order to give, you must first know what you have to give. Then you can apply it to something more. The face you must begin with in building this culture is your own. It is then that honest wealth comes into play, and that you are able to create a life abundant for more than just yourself. At the beginning of the year, we had the opportunity to go to 5 chapter officer leadership conferences. And here in a workshop, we gave every student a sticky note. And on the sticky note, we asked them to answer the question, why did you run for chapter office? And then place this sticky note on a tear sheet up on the wall around the room. Now, as the workshop came to an end and I was taking down these sticky notes, I was in awe over what students wrote. So I decided I would compile the over 1,000 sticky notes and read them all. So, now placed in my very own journal, this is what some of these sticky notes say. But keep in mind, these sticky notes, they have no name, region, chapter, or section on them. They are just raw thoughts on why students wanted to serve. They read, my chapter was financially struggling, and I thought I want to be the one to change that. I want to make a difference. Another stated, I always love to serve others, and I thought, what better place to start than my chapter? And lastly, I always wanted to be someone to look up to, but I was raised in bad places. But that didn't make me less. Instead, I became something more. I became something more for others. These students saw what they had to give and were simultaneously looking for what they could do for others at the same time. These students are probably sitting here, right here in this room, and little do they know that the words that they wrote down on a single Post-it note have guided a year of my life. So, I want you to invest one of the greatest gifts of honest wealth, your time, into something you do when no one else is watching, just as these students did. Because it is then that you are able to create a life abundant for more than just yourself. Chances are someone has done this for you in your life. Think of your agriculture instructor, someone who will stay hours after class with you to ensure that you understand a concept, and then that same weekend is away from their family to take you to a field day or a CDE contest. They have given you their time. They have made a difference in your life. And in this industry, you can be that person for someone else. Understand the power that comes with knowing what you have to give and then doing for others and expecting nothing in return. Because that is the fundamental and the guiding principle behind the people in agriculture. But once you understand that you have this honest wealth that you can give, at what place do you look to create a life abundant for others? The answer is in the next line of the creed. And less need for charity and more of it when needed. I learned this lesson at the end of my junior year of high school. Most of my friends were off to start their summer, and I was making my way to the Tulare FFA high school farm to package boxes for a chapter known as El Reno FFA, located in Oklahoma. Now, here is what I knew about this chapter. I knew that this chapter's town and community had been devastated by a tornado. But here is what I did not know at the time. That in May of 2013, a 16-minute warning was given, and then winds between 166 and 200 miles per hour touched down, severely injuring and taking 240 lives, 60 of which belonged to children. Imagine being locked in a tornado cellar in your home, and then suddenly the door rips open, glass and debris are slamming you, and you begin to question whether or not you are going to live. You tremble as you make your way outside. You see pieces of your home everywhere. What was once your high school is irrecognizable. Picture your hometown and everything you knew completely destroyed. That was the reality of the residents of El Reno, Oklahoma. But back in Tulare on that day, it was the start of summer. Conversation was light, and I vividly remember the sound of Darius Rucker's voice filling the air as we were packaging these boxes. And before we knew it, these boxes were packaged set, ready to send to a chapter in which I knew not more than the name, El Reno FFA. Now, 5 months later, I'm standing in a hallway in Louisville, Kentucky, and here I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn around, and I realize I do not know the gentleman standing in front of me. He's about this tall, he has dark, curly hair to match these deep, dark eyes, complemented by fair skin, and before I could even say a word, he stuck out his hand to shake mine. And then, with a bit of a twang in his voice, he said to me, "Are you from California?" I nodded. "Are you from Tulare?" "Yes." He then took a deep breath, folded his arms, looked me right in the eye, and said, "Ma'am, I am a member of the El Reno FFA chapter. I want you to know that my family received a package which you sent. I want you to know that my little sister wore the clothes that came in that box. And then we used that very box to walk the fields next to our home, picking up the remainder of our life, a life that I no longer recognized. I want you to know I am forever grateful for what you did, because your actions changed my life." As chills went through my body and I tried to form something articulate to say, all that came out was, "You are welcome." He told me he had someone he wanted me to meet, and as he walked away, a feeling of complete grace and humility came over me. Shortly after, a woman embraced me in a hug. It was his advisor. And in that moment, I felt my greatest moment of success. There I was, standing in a crowded hallway, surrounded by people that I did not know. I was not on a stage. There was no microphone or lights. I was not earning a blue ribbon, a plaque, or a silver bowl. I was just a California girl with two individuals from Oklahoma standing in a hallway in Louisville, Kentucky, who said I had changed their life. And less need for charity and more of it when needed. We don't hope for bad things to happen, but when they do, we must step up and give, because that's charity. So this story would have never taken place if those in my chapter, if those in Tulare FFA did not see what we could do from our home. So where do you start? You start with the opportunities for charity found within your home. We all know our homes like the back of our hand. They're places that could use a bit of charity. They're places that aren't perfect. And see, this is the beauty of agriculture. Those in this culture, those who define this culture with their actions, understand that one can give at any capacity. See, I wore the same jacket all 4 years of high school, and it said Tulare on the back. Never through a jacket did I have the opportunity to represent my section or my region. But regardless, I could not deny the opportunities found within my home. So think of the name on the back of your jacket. That is where you start. I want you to think of someone or something who could use a little bit of your time or help. And as you make your way out of this arena in just 3 short hours, be consciously looking for an area where you can make an impact, where charity is needed. So once you understand where to start, how do you start? And being happy myself and playing square with those whose happiness depends upon me. We must understand that our happiness depends upon ourselves. We must not be wavering, but standing firm in who and where we are. We must know that happiness is a choice, and it's not the easy choices we make every single day without thinking, but also it's the difficult choices. And at the end of the day, you must keep others in mind, because that is how we play square. And when a day comes to the end and the sun goes down, agriculture is about doing for others. The Creed, 5 paragraphs in which there is enough inspiration to bring forth the highest hopes, the deepest concern, and the profoundest regard in order to carry forth the ideals of agriculture. It distinguishes those who have a right to inherit a nation, a new generation of growers who will embrace every aspect of agriculture. This is a culture you want to be a part of. Agriculture is where you want to spend your days. And what a beautiful place I have been able to spend the last 365 days. To all the agriculture educators in this room, thank you for investing in 2 of our nation's greatest assets, agriculture and education. But then thank you for also being someone of inspiration, a role model to all of the students in this arena, to all of us who wear these blue jackets. To my own agriculture instructors, thank you for taking it a step further. I had been introduced to agriculture when I entered this program, but you taught me that knowledge is power and that I can use knowledge in agriculture. You have shown me through your everyday actions that agriculture isn't easy, but it is a place worth being. Thank you. To my family and friends, thank you for showing me, for giving me a place where my roots were grounded in agriculture. Thank you for teaching me the values of agriculture from an early age, showing me how to work hard, how to be dedicated and committed to whatever I do. There is not a day that goes by that I don't thank God for each and every one of you. Thank you for teaching me that in agriculture, we are a family, and that above all, we will always have each other. To the Mayfield family, one of the most beautiful things about agriculture is that it doesn't take a job title to learn from people. You may be our advisors, you may be people who are in charge of us, but outside that role, in your home, in the center, when we spend time with you, I find so much joy in not hearing what you say, but watching what you do. Through your actions, you have shown me how to be a woman of class and character, how to be a woman who stands firm in what she believes by leading by example. You guys are a wonderful example of what people in agriculture should be like. Brother and sister, you have the most gracious parents, and I know you're only this big, but thank you for sharing them with me. I am so blessed to be one of your kids as well. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Mayfield. I love you. Oh man, to my team. Well, when I think of agriculture, there are a couple of faces that come to mind. There are a couple people that I want to spend all of my days with. And 5 of them are these people right here. Well, the face I see in my head is not as pretty as your faces look right now usually, but I want you to know I couldn't imagine this year without you. You have been people in agriculture who have taught me something that I never thought I was capable of. You taught me how to selflessly love people, to love others, to give my time, to my dedication, to give it to you, to give it to this association. A year ago today, I never would have thought I would have felt this way about the 5 of you. And now, I cannot imagine my life without each and every one of you. You are people I want to spend my days with. I love each and every one of you. Thank you. California FFA, thank you for showing me that it is the people that put the culture in agriculture. Through the small moments you have done throughout this year, such as working with your SAE projects while at a chapter visit when I am still in your home before school has started, to go feed your animals and to walk back in and not complain about a word about it, or to stay after school to work on a project for your community that you don't have to do, but that you choose to do and that you are willing to do. I thank you for doing those things. But I don't only thank you for doing those things, I thank you for something that you don't get. With my story with that gentleman that I was able to meet, I was able to see the reward reaped in my givings. And I understand that in agriculture, we don't always meet those people whose lives we change. We don't meet the mouths we feed, the differences we make. But you all in these blue jackets, everyone in this room, you trust in agriculture. You understand that it will provide for the future, and you have invested in it. And there is no greater gift that I could have received than that this year. Thank you, California FFA. But I want you to know, I want you to know that there are people out here who don't believe in agriculture. They don't believe in the future. They don't know what we are going to do or where their food comes from. So I challenge you. I want you to be the person who makes them believe in this future with your doings, because you can, and you have shown me that this year. Thank you, California FFA. Times will change, and that little girl will one day let go of her father's hand. She will no longer be the little girl who wakes up to the sound of her father up at the crack of dawn to start his day, or the little girl who got her boots stuck in the mud as they were changing water together. And I know this because that little girl is all grown up standing here on this stage. I will forever be thankful and grateful for my roots in production agriculture. But as times changed and I let go of my father's hand, I found myself immersed in the same culture, one of splendor and strength, and where purpose was found in leaving a better life for the next generation to come, in my home of Tulare FFA. It was there I learned the culture of this organization through the 5 paragraphs of the FFA Creed. But it is the people I have spent my time with in agriculture, the advisors, educators, my own family, and students who have proven to me to value this culture. See, we all in this room understand what it means to believe in the future of agriculture. But paragraph 4 teaches us to appreciate the constant of this industry, the people. California FFA, this is a culture you want to be a part of, a place where life is abundant and there is enough honest wealth to help make it so, where we are happy ourselves and we work diligently for those whose happiness depends upon us. We must understand that we are agriculture, because it is then that we know that we can exert an influence in our homes and communities, which will stand solid for our part in that inspiring task.
Spend today in a conversation in the mirror, face to face with somebody less than perfect. I wouldn't choose me first if I was looking for a champion. In fact, I'd
Sid, Sousa, Meryl, Dad, Sydney. Hi, my name is Sydney. I'm from Tulare, and I live on a dairy. Da 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 da. Sousa, this year you have amazed us in two ways. One, how is it possible for someone to eat 2 half-pound Del Tacos burritos that fast? And number two, the way in which members look up to you for advice and your uncanny ability to share wisdom with anyone who needs it. Although you don't share any of your food, ever, you have shared countless moments with others this year. We are inspired by the amount of gratitude you have for not only your hometown, but also the people and community who have molded you into who you are. It seems like no matter where we are or what we are doing, we can rely on you to have a long conversation with just about anyone. Because you are chatty, or not because you are chatty, but because you have made an effort to create a personal connection with an infinite amount of people this year. We're going to go ahead and tell you some more things that we appreciate about you. We appreciate the countless hours you have spent counseling us with all of our lives and for always lending a listening ear, even if it's just one. Your competitive nature not only makes you a speed demon on the road and a March Madness fiend, but also it keeps us striving to improve. Without you, not only would our eyebrows be out of whack, but we wouldn't nearly be as organized, prepared, or as appreciative as this year. Abraham Lincoln once said, whatever you are, be a good one. Do we think you're a good one? Absolutely. We'd move mountains for you. Love, Danny, Bree, Trevor, Tim, and Joelle. P.S. Thanks for being our egg this year. California FFA 2015-2016 State FFA Vice President, Sydnie Sousa.
The next one in line, always stay hungry.